unique in terms of relationships than Eric Young and ODB?
Well, you say unique, I say disturbing. Okay, so that's what I call it. I mean, these two...
Probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, how do you explain this? I feel bad for Christy Hemme, our ring announcer, our gorgeous ring announcer. She's got to be stuck in the ring with these guys right now. She's laughing out of fear and nervousness. What a mix. I don't mean in the flesh.
And her opponent from Toronto, Canada, one half of the Knockout Tag Team Champions and the Knockout Champion, Gail Kim.
Well, it is a beautiful and confident Gail Kim that heads to the ring. Knockout champion, one half of the Tag Team Champions. But what's going through the mind of Gail, especially after what went down last week when it was her associate, her tag team partner, and her friend, Madison Rayne, who stole the win in the Knockouts Battle Royal?
Not quite sure what's going on in the mind of our Knockouts champ. I get your point. I'm sure Gail will deal with that when the time is right. Right now, I think Gail realizes she's got to deal with ODB, who's just a different type of knockout. I mean, I would venture to say...
That's putting it mild.
Yeah, that ODB's not even a knockout. At least she's knocked out a lot of dudes. But I don't think she's a knockout. That's a knockout. In Gail.
So you're saying, if there was ever a case of Beauty and the Beast,
this is it. Yes, yeah, this is it. And Eric Young's in the ring. So, yeah, this is definitely it. And whenever Eric Young is out there, you never know what's going to happen. It's very unpredictable, and he belongs in a hole.
Knockouts in action in this non-title matchup. Gail Kim versus ODB. And Gail realizes that Madison Rayne, her tag team partner, is in line for the next title shot when she puts that gold on the line. Boy, some interesting comments that we heard from Garrett Bischoff. And I think we need to reflect on the fighting spirit of this young man who, back it against all odds, he refused to let Hulk Hogan throw in the towel in the match that he had against Gunner.
And I agree with that. I mean, we saw Garrett Bischoff do that, and I believe in something where it's an expression called, you can't coach heart. You can't coach intestinal fortitude, and Garrett Bischoff, he obviously has that. But I also want to talk about something that Hulk Hogan just said tonight here to Garrett, and I agree. I mean, there is a target on Garrett's back, and Garrett's got to be careful. You know, the way he got into this industry, and now the way he's going in this industry because of his dad, Eric Bischoff, I think some of the wrestlers might want to, take Garrett's head off, to be honest with you.
Knockout champ taken down by ODB, and Eric Young around the ringside area. Eric always looking to get involved in these matches with ODB. A lot of people refer to them as Impact Wrestling's odd couple. And Taz, I have to tell you, I read a story on TMZ.com this week about Rihanna and Chris Brown back together again.
When did they break up? All right, well, yeah, they're an odd couple for sure. I guess compared to Rihanna and Chris Brown, ODB and Eric Young aren't that odd.
I guess you're right. What do you think of that Bronco Buster in the corner from ODB on Gail Kim?
I'll pass, thank you. Gail's in trouble. Gail's in trouble here.
Yeah, and Eric Young rolls in and immediately rolls back out again, and Gail Kim going to try and follow up the knee, and does. Series of uppercuts. Here comes Gail off the ropes.
Well, there's that power and strength advantage that ODB has on Gail Kim.
That really is the difference between these two. Size, power, weight, and ODB exploiting it so far. New York Giants Super Bowl champion running back Brandon Jacobs. Will he get involved later tonight? We know that he was in a conference with the Cowboy James Storm and Jeff Hardy, and we know they're in the Impact Wrestling main event tag team match.
Well, we heard our guest here, a member of the Super Bowl champion New York Giants, Brandon Jacobs, say, Bully Ray, you can run, but you cannot hide. So I got a funny feeling we're going to see something happen tonight, in my opinion, with Brandon Jacobs here in our main event.
Someone want to tell Eric that this isn't a handicap match up on the apron and try and put a tag into ODB.
Wow, look at that explosive flying clothesline right there by Gail.
Clothesline leads to a cover, but quickly ODB able to power out and going to try and fight back from the mat, and does. Well-placed forearm shots, but then Gail cuts her off and tried to throw her out to the floor.
Yeah, good strength right there. Arm strength by ODB to hang on. I don't know what the heck Eric Young is doing. What is he doing? Uh-oh. Bad spot. Bad spot for ODB. Face first. first, exploded into the mat by the lovely, gorgeous, and very sexy, if I mind saying so myself, Gail Kim.
And we've been seeing ODB use the power game to this point. Gail going to try and beat ODB at her own game. Charges into the corner. Just uses her body as a weapon against ODB.
Oh, Gail's body's a weapon for sure.
Going to go for another pin attempt. The champ on top for 2.
Yeah, ODB's in a bad, bad way here. But again, having that size advantage on a knockout the size of Gail Kim is a plus for ODB. Now what?
Octopus-style submission hold applied by Gail Kim. ODB trying to fight through the submission attempt.
Yeah, it's got the whole upper body of ODB bent up.
That's one way to do it.
Definitely using, again, the strength, that impact. Driving Gail Kim's body into the mat was enough to break that hold. Eric Young looked like he was trying to speak and he couldn't. He's a mess.
Gail saw ODB charging across the ring and absolutely decked her with the clothesline. Knockout champion, right here, right back in control once again.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with Gail. She does. There's no wasted motion. And look at this here, the great flexibility right there in the inner legs of Gail Kim.
What are you doing here?
It's Madison Rayne, the #1 contender to Gail Kim, and also her tag team partner coming down. Meanwhile, EY going to break out the flask and a little liquid courage for ODB.
Man, that kind of fired up. You can see from behind there, ODB had something in mind, that running shoulder block, followed by another here. Look at this.
Trying to take advantage of the distraction of Madison Rayne. Big boot out of the corner by ODB.
Whoa, whoa. Oh, that's a submission hold, kind of.
I don't see Gail tapping, but
I'm tapping.
There's press out of the corner.
She's got him. Oh, she had her there. Madison just rooting on Gail, the other half of the knockout tag team champs. And
ODB going to go for the BAM. Finishing move here on Gail, who fights it off with those knees to the side of the head and catches her with eat defeat. Is it going to be defeat? Here's 2 and 3, and it is for ODB.
Your winner, Gail Kim.
Physical contest by 2 excellent knockouts here. But Gail Kim, a knockout champion, victorious, and Madison Rayne trying to show that have a little celebration with her friend, and it seems like Gail's into that too much.
It's almost like she's trying to convince Gail Kim that they're still friends. Up next on Impact Wrestling, the phenomenal AJ Styles challenges Robbie E for the TV title.